I call the meeting to order. Welcome to the March 4th, 2025 City Council meeting. Members of the public may attend this meeting in person or may watch and listen remotely by viewing the meeting on Channel 8, WCTV, and at the city's website at wayzata.org/WCTV. Public comment during the public forum and/or public hearing portions of the meeting may be provided in person at the meeting, in advance, or by logging onto the Teams call and raising your hand during the public hearing. When your name is called in the meeting, you will be seen and heard in our council chambers and the cable channel. You will be asked to unmute, and then you may begin your comment. All public comments must include your full name and address. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask everyone to stand if you are able and follow along. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on our agenda is the roll call. I will note that all council members are present this evening. Next, I'd like to recap what we discussed in workshop earlier tonight. So all of us participated in a workshop and reviewed and discussed the following: a presentation by the Hennepin County Assessor's Office, who serve as the city's assessor for both commercial and residential properties, for a briefing before our local Board of Appeals process, which is in April of this year, focused on 2025 property value tax assessments by Hennepin County. Next, we had an informational session on tax increment financing from staff and our advisors to review and update the TIF cash flow study. As an outcome, we're going to be using this information in our budget planning cycle mid-year this year. Next is to approve tonight's agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda as is, or if anyone would like to make any changes to the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda as outlined, Mayor.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that passes. The next item on the agenda is actually the public forum. Just as a reminder for those who are here in attendance tonight and are interested in speaking, absent the firefighters, which will be called up separately, you need to state your name and address and indicate if you're representing a group and limit your comments to 3 minutes. If you want to speak to something that is on the agenda, you need to fill out a form at the back table and send it forward to staff. For anyone that's watching on the Teams link, please send a note via the chat feature to staff and let them know what agenda item you would like to speak about. And we also just note that if you do want to speak via Teams, you need to have your camera turned on. Next on the item, it's one of my favorite times. It's my first time as mayor, but we're swearing in new firefighters tonight, and the public house is full tonight in support of these individuals joining our fire department. I just have a few comments before I'm going to turn over to the city manager. Our Wayzata Volunteer Fire Department boasts a long and storied history in town, going back to the late 1800s when it was a private enterprise, and then when its formal founding in the city in 1912. Then it further formalized itself as a private corporation in 1922 before becoming a formal department of the city of Wayzata. And then in 1963, it's an amazing institution with multi-generational service to our community. And it's really an amazing night. And I'm going to turn over to the city manager to lead us through the presentation of our new firefighters.
Thank you, Mayor Mullen and council members. Good evening, everybody. As the city manager, I think it's probably my greatest privilege to swear in our best public servants, whether it's the council, police officers, in this case, our wonderful firefighters with the Wayzata Fire Department. And real quick, before I introduce Chief Clapperich, I just want to say, in addition to just seeing the family here and the entire fire department here, how touching that is. Our fire, for many reasons, our department is unique. Currently, I would say that we're one of the very few fire departments, few paid on-call / volunteer fire departments that are pretty close to fully staffed. Our departments, the members in our departments aren't doing it for the money. Lord knows they don't get a lot of it. They're not doing it even for the pension. They're not doing it for the fame. They're truly doing it just to give back and serve their community, making it a safe place to live, work, and visit. And it speaks just, the paid on call departments is a tough dynamic these days when everybody is so busy. People don't have the time to volunteer. There's a lot of requirements of the firefighters for, again, minimal pay. Despite that, our chief, our leadership, our department continues to recruit and retain the best. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. We're a unique situation, a unique community for a variety of reasons. This is really exceptional. So with that, I wanted to introduce or bring Chief Clapperich, and we're going to start the swearing in process.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I guess I'd start out by saying thank you for allowing us to be here. This is something that we don't do a lot because we have a lot of people that come around and they stay for a long time, so we don't have to do a lot of swearing-ins. I want to say thank you to the members of the audience that came to support these people and all the members of the Wayzata Fire Department. This program started about 20 years ago. What we do is they get hired. We usually hire them, and then within a couple weeks they're in school. And then after their year is up, we bring them over here and we swear them in. So these four tonight have all, in probably I think just a little over 7 months, have gone through Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, Hazmat, and EMR medical class. Okay. All total, just that class, not any of our stuff, no fire calls, just the class work is about 225 hours. Twice a week for 7 to 8 months. So all four of these were hired last October. I think it was the 16th of October. And I think probably on the 21st, they were in class. So what we're gonna do is, we'll call them up one at a time. I'll read you a little bit of information about them, and then I'll have Jeff swear them in. Once they're sworn in, then they get to pick who comes up and pins their badge on for the first time. So first, I'll take Bart. You can stand right here. So this is Bart Bastian. Bart has lived in Wayzata for over 40 years. He was born in the Netherlands, but moved here at the age of 3 with his father and mother and siblings. He currently lives in his Wayzata home with his 2 daughters, Josie and Iris, and his girlfriend Stacy and her daughter Brinley. Bart graduated from the University of Minnesota with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Since then, he has worked at various companies over the years. Bart has been a firefighter with the fire department since 2023 and is excited to continue. In his spare time, Bart enjoys spending time with his family, friends, playing pinball, cycling, working on cars, and putting his degree to use by fixing and building things. Bart Bastian.
Thank you, Chief. Bart, if I could have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. Maybe get it a little closer so we can hear you. I, state your name,
I, Bart Bastians,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will discharge faithfully
and I will discharge faithfully
the duties of the office of firefighter
the duties of the office of firefighter
in the city of Wayzata,
in the city of Wayzata,
county of Hennepin,
county of Hennepin,
state of Minnesota,
state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you need a pen, go ahead. Is there two loops?
Hoping for no workers' comp claims. Hey, there we go.
There's one more, hold on.
They don't do blood winging here, like I went through. Really shouldn't be that hard because it's
And it can't get it perfect as long as it's not stabbing you.
There you go.
There we go. Hey, we got it. You guys want to take a picture?
Absolutely. Yes. Wonderful. All right. Wonderful.
Did you want to say anything, Bart?
No, just thank you for letting me support the community, being a firefighter. Thank you.
Next, we have Sarah Bourbon. Sarah lives in Long Lake with her husband, Mike Van Patten, who is also on the Wayzata Fire Department. They have 3 kids, 2 dogs, and 2 horses. Sarah grew up in Plymouth with her mom as a teacher and her dad as a fire captain in Minneapolis. She grew up with a sense of compassion for not only people, but also for animals. She is a district leader with the Humane Society of the United States and works with legislation for ongoing animal rights. Sarah works full-time as a professional photographer and has had a successful business for over 20 years. She is also a published author and wrote the Bucket List book, Been There, Done That. In her spare time, Sarah enjoys camping, traveling, horseback riding, time with family, playing the piano, painting, trap shooting, and almost any adventure. Sarah started her adventure being a firefighter in 2002 at the city of St. Bonifacius. After several years, her husband Mike suggested joining Wayzata Fire Department, and she eagerly joined us in October of 23. She said she picked Wayzata Fire because they have the nicest fire chief around. Oh, I guess what it says is, she is personally my favorite firefighter. Sarah Bourbon.
Sarah, if you want to get a little bit closer, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sarah Bourbon,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will discharge faithfully,
and I will discharge faithfully
it's a tough one, the duties of the office of firefighter
the duties of the Office of Firefighter
in the city of Wayzata,
in the City of Wayzata,
the state of Minnesota,
the State of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who do we have coming up? They were supposed to have already pulled polls.
We'll do, we can pause a
We can
little bit
do it
later, big
I
ones.
see it
too.
after.
That sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
Want to say anything?
Thank you to my favorite chief. No, I honestly been really honored to work with all these gentlemen on Wayzata. They're really, truly amazing. So, thank you.
Chase Salisbury. Thank you. Chase has lived in Wayzata since 2022 with his wife, Lauren, and has a 2.5-year-old son named Jack, which this is already no good because 2.5 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, William came to the family. So he's got 2 sons. Chase grew up in Phoenix with his mother Lori, father Bill, and sister Allie. Chase went to the University of Arizona in Tucson, where he earned his bachelor's degree and PhD in optical engineering. Since graduating college, Chase and Lauren have lived in Boston, San Francisco, and he now works as an engineer at Honeywell in Plymouth. In his spare time, Chase enjoys spending time with his family, working on house projects, running, biking, and cross-country skiing. Chase Salisbury.
Chase, if you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Chase Salisbury,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will discharge faithfully
and I will discharge faithfully
the duties of the office of firefighter
the duties of the office of firefighter
in the city of Wayzata,
in the city of Wayzata,
county of Hennepin,
county of Hennepin,
state of Minnesota,
state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I guess this is out of date as well because it says I have spare time, which I no longer do. And last time I was allowed to say a few words, I didn't say thank you to my wife. And so I'm going to correct that mistake now, but she watched Jack for how many hours? 225?
Yep.
Well, I could do this. So thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, John.
And last but not least, we have Mike Van Patten. So Mike lives in Long Lake with his wife, Sarah Bourbon. They have 3 children in high school, Blake, McKenna, and Crosby. Mike grew up in Independence with his parents, Charles and Betty Jo Van Patten. He went to Delno High School and then on to Gustavus Adolphus College, where he played football as well. He got his master's in education and is a special education teacher in the Minneapolis Public Schools. Van Patten started his service with Wayzata Fire in October of '23 and feels blessed to work and learn with an amazing group of firefighters. Mike loves spending time with family, attending his kids' sports, riding their horses, fishing, cooking, and learning new things. Mike Van Patten.
Mike, if you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state
Mike
your
Van Patten,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
and that I will discharge faithfully
I will discharge faithfully
the duties of the office of firefighter
the duties of the office of a firefighter
in the city of Wayzata,
of the city of Wayzata,
county of Hennepin,
county of Hennepin,
state of Minnesota,
state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just have loved my experience so far as a firefighter. Really look forward to serving our community. And just, we have the best group of guys and gals to learn from and serve with, and the community is well protected. So thank you. And thank you for all that have supported us and everything we've done.
So Mayor and Council, I don't know if you want to say a few words or grill our newest employees. So I'd leave that up to you if you want to. Otherwise, it might make sense to pause just for a couple minutes for some.
Yeah. Just give anyone on council a chance to make any comments. Okay, so oh, sorry. Alex, would you like to say something?
Well, I was just going to say I miss all you guys. Retiring a couple years ago. I don't miss the sub-zero drills, but most of the rest of the stuff. And Chief, you're actually okay.
That's not what it said. It didn't say, it didn't say I was okay. Before we take a break, though, I'd just like again to say thank you for allowing us to do this. It's not something that happens often, but it's very nice for us to be able to come over here and do this. And it sounds like you have a very short meeting. If you get done with your meeting in time, you're more than welcome to come over to the fire station for some cake.
Wonderful. So please join me again in recognizing our 4 newest firefighters, and also I'd like to recognize all the other first responders from, I think, one of the finest, if not the finest, fire department in the state of Minnesota. Thank you. Okay, we'll stand in recess for a few minutes, allow you guys to get on to cake and more important things. All right, we're going to reconvene and continue with the public forum. We do have one individual that would like to speak. If Eric Lamb is here, if you'd approach the podium and just state your name and your address and what you'd like to address us on this evening. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Eric Lamb. I'm at 300 Central Avenue.
Can you press the button on? There you go.
Now
you can-
green. Okay, is that
Perfect.
good?
That's good.
Eric Lamb, 300 Central Avenue South. So I wanted to speak briefly on just two items. I addressed several items to, at that time, Andrew Mullen, now Mr. Mayor, and congratulating him on his election. And I thought, Mr. Mayor, you gave a great, thoughtful response to the issues I had in the email. Two of them, the two items I wanted to address, the first one briefly is around the budget. As Andrew knows, I objected to the 7% increase on the budget, and I know it's a struggle for all of you trying to figure out all the services. Certainly the cost of our critical services like the fire department are something that are very important to the community. But I felt we should be closer to whatever inflation rate is and not having 7% increases. A lot of people in the community talking about increases in the late recent years to property taxes here around here have been severe. Second item, more importantly, for our little small community in Central Avenue, Wise, Lake Street, that my neighbor, Mr. Sorensen, is very familiar with, is we have had an increasing amount of short-term rentals in that area. And I won't be here the next couple of months, so I just wanted to address it as it comes up to on your agenda. Several of us in the neighborhood feel there's been a lot of negative impacts from that. The parking, the noise, the sort of disruption of the community character that we have in that area. And especially it takes away affordable housing, long-term rentals for people who might want to work in this area and live in these houses. So I know you're going to be taking some steps, hopefully, or maybe you have, on licensing and fees, which is great. Frankly, quite a few of us in our little neighborhood would prefer if you just forbid them in Wayzata. So I just want to go on record. Mr. Mayor kind of knows my position on this, wanted the rest of you to hear it, and I appreciate the time.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lamb. Okay, City Manager, do we have anyone on Teams that wanted to speak?
Mr. Mayor, we do not.
All right, before we move on to the next agenda item, I wanted to take a moment to honor one of Wayzata's finest citizens, George Rye, who passed away recently. George and his wife, Barb, were longtime Wayzata residents and a fixture on the local scene for decades. Like his son, Greg, George was a super volunteer. In fact, he was the first winner in the early 1980s of the Jim Fish Award, which is a local honor bestowed on individuals with significant contributions to crime prevention within the Wayzata community. A fun fact about George that I was made aware of is that he often sang in a barbershop quartet over the years. And I'm sure that there was a great rendition of Sweet Adeline playing when George was welcomed to eternal peace at the Pearlier Gates over the weekend here. There is a service planned for George on Saturday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wayzata Community Church. And the full details will be in Sunday's paper. So with that, I'll move on to new agenda items. Does anyone have any new items that they'd like to discuss or bring up at the council level? Next is the consent agenda. So we would be reviewing approval of the consent agenda, which include the following. Approval of the City Council workshop and regular meeting minutes of February 4th and February 18th, 2025. Approval of the check register, approval of municipal licenses, approval of a letter of agreement with Marilee Borg Babcock for the Maple Tree Tapping Program, approval of professional services agreement with Davie Resources Group for the tree management plan preparation, adoption of Resolution 05-2025, approving the extension of zoning approvals at 1405 Holdridge Terrace and 15419 and 15429 Wayzata Boulevard East, known as Harbors of Wayzata, and a receipt of the 2024 fourth quarter financial report. So I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda tonight, or if there's any items that needed to be pulled.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that passes. The next item on the agenda is new business. There actually are no new business items on the agenda. So with that, we would move forward with the city manager's report and discussion items. City manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just three quick things in terms of stuff happening next week. First off, we have the mayor meetup at the Muni. That's on Monday at 7 o'clock, I believe. So come one, come all. Air your
welcome.
grievances. Give the mayor your compliments. We'll take them. And that, again, is at the Muni, close to the front, I think. Just
Yeah,
walk
there'll
in,
be a
you'll see it.
table. Yep.
Yep. On March 13th, the chamber is hosting their annual mayoral luncheon, which Mayor Mullen will be on a panel with Mayor Minor of Long Lake, Mayor Woshi of Plymouth, and then Mayor Wearsome of Minnetonka. Have some questions about commonalities in our communities and also what makes our communities unique. So if you're a community member that's interested in attending, it's a really interesting event. Contact the chamber, go to their website, you can get tickets there. That's at 11:30, Thursday, March 13th at the Country Club. Lastly, as the mayor indicated, we had a workshop about assessments and what this year's look like. Just so residents and property owners know, the valuations are going to be out in the mail next week, late next week. So that'll start the process of our local Board of Appeal and Equalization. Ultimately, that hearing will be held on Thursday, April 17th at 5:30. Go to our website for those that are unfamiliar with the process. You can check out all the timelines and how to get more information about your property value, what they're proposing, if you have any questions or concerns about it. All that information is on the website. And also just feel free to call City Hall if you have any questions. That's it. Thank you.
Any questions of our city manager? Okay, with that, I would accept a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting and onward to cake if you're up for it. Accept a
I'll
motion.
make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Our meeting is adjourned.